Bonsoir tout le monde. Donc, on va... exceptionnellement, nous avons une déclaration du Premier ministre en commençant.
We're going to start the evening because of the sort of extraordinary circumstances with a statement from the Prime Minister.
Alors, Monsieur Trudeau.
Good evening. Usually at these dinners I come up here with jokes, but given the developments in the Middle East in the last few hours, I'm not going to be able to give that speech. This evening I was briefed by the National Security and Intelligence Advisor, the Chief of the Defence Staff and the Clerk of the Privy Council on the situation in the Middle East. Canada unequivocally condemns Iran's airborne attacks against Israel. We stand with Israel. Le Canada est sans équivoque. Nous condamnons les attaques aériennes que l'Iran a lancées contre Israël. On est solidaire d'Israël. After supporting Hamas's brutal October 7th attack, the Iranian regime's latest actions will further destabilize the region and make lasting peace more difficult. These attacks demonstrate yet again the Iranian regime's disregard for peace and stability in the region. We support Israel's right to defend itself and its people from these attacks. I will continue to be briefed as the situation develops, and we are in close contact with allies. Obviously, I'm not going to be able to stay tonight. But I did want to come by to honor the important work you do, because we need journalism more than ever. The world is an uncertain place, and the work that you do, the reporting, the bravery, the rigor, is absolutely critical for helping people navigate these times. Journalists go to the front lines of conflict. They tell the human side. They question authority. It is as important as ever, if not more important than ever. Il y a des endroits dans le monde où les journalistes sont emprisonnés parce qu'ils posent trop de questions. Votre travail est sérieux et plus important que jamais. Pour que la démocratie fonctionne, il faut tous travailler à partir des mêmes faits pour mieux comprendre le monde. On ne peut pas se permettre d'affaiblir le journalisme dans notre pays ou de regarder son érosion sans agir. We need to remind the corporate world that investing in journalism is not about profit margins, it's about democracy. Rigorous reporting doesn't just take work, it relies on the backing of responsible leadership. At a time of pervasive misinformation and disinformation, the truth is so important. So thank you for everything you do. Merci pour tout ce que vous faites. I know you work hard and it's important to have moments to come together as a community. I hope you all have fun this evening, and I am truly sorry I cannot stay. Have a wonderful night. Merci tout le monde.
De retour à la programmation régulière. Now for the fun part of the evening.
Breaking news on a Saturday.
Oh, man. Whew.
Well, hello.
Bonsoir.
What a fucking week. Right?
Tabarnak, hein?
We had the public inquiry.
The Manning Conference.
We had the Progress Summit.
Le premier ministre français était en ville.
We had another, I've lost count of the number of vote marathons in the House.
I mean, Boris Johnson was here, like...
And then that just happened.
Yes.
So that's a thing.
Yeah. Je m'appelle Catherine Lévesque et bien que je travaille en anglais, je serai votre francophone de service pour ce soir. m'attendais pas à des applaudissements. I work for the National Post, but some of you might know me as the BBC's unofficial translator. PMO, you're welcome.
My name is Nick Taylor-Veza. You may know me as Guy Who Writes Playbook Newsletter. Speaking of which, I've got a birthday sign-up sheet.
Yes.
So please, not a joke, find me later. I've got a couple of pens. I want your birthdays.
Hey, it's Melissa Lantzman's birthday party tonight.
I know. We had that in the playbook. Just a little bit more about me. I get to work for a profitable American journalism company. All I have to do, booing me, jeez. I just have to flip my R's and my E's, drop the U from labor, and beg my American counterparts to take me seriously. It's like every trip south for François-Philippe Champagne and Mary Ang.
On est vraiment très heureux de vous retrouver ce soir dans la salle John A. MacDonald pour le plus grand plaisir d'Yves François Blanchet et de tous les bloquistes.
We're gonna ask people to hold their applause. We've already started a little bit, but we don't know exactly who's in the room. The guest list came together really kind of quickly, so we're not sure who's here, but rest assured, we passed everything through PMO for vetting.
If you don't like our jokes tonight, we don't care. Our job is not to be popular, like the Prime Minister.
Man, what a year. Since we were last here, MPs elected a new speaker.
On voulait montrer la vidéo de Greg Fergus, mais on n'est pas un congrès libéral.
The Liberal Party went soul searching, and they found a marketing specialist.
It was really just a comms issue all this time.
Interest rates still sky high. Tiff Macklem says, just hold on, just a little bit longer, any month now.
Just so you know.
Again, fingers crossed.
We wrote that joke last year. We just recycled it.
Been a dumpster fire year, again, for the media. CBC announced some cuts, and then we kind of weren't so sure about the cuts. And then Catherine Tate said she might still get her annual bonus. Oof.
Anyone deserves a bonus if they can make even the Liberals want to defund the CBC. On ne peut pas passer sous silence la difficile année de nos collègues chez TVA, surtout en région. On a peut-être de moins en moins de nouvelles locales, mais on a toujours MasterChef Québec. Ça, on l'a.
Hey, Catherine, let's talk about Bell.
Or not.
Okay, fair enough. We did lose some political giants this year. At Broadbent, Brian Mulroney, and what we would say to the Prime Minister if he were still here is that everything's going to be fine 30 years. Carbon tax will be $500 a ton, and this will all be water under the bridge.
Plusieurs députés ont décidé de quitter la politique active dans la dernière année. Pensons à Marc Garneau, Carolyn Bennett, Erin O'Toole, David Lametti. Il y en a qui reviennent aussi, comme Denis Coderre. Riez pas, là. C'est pas fin.
Huge year in U.S. politics. Speaking of which, Ambassador David Cohen is here tonight. Nice knowing you. Good luck.
Former Alberta Premier Jason Kenney is here in Ottawa. Good evening. So you came to Ottawa by choice. Is that it? Just making sure.
Mayor of Toronto, Olivia Chow, is here.
Somewhere.
Any chance you want to run federally again? There's a guy at table 25 who could really use some friends.
Le ministre de l'Immigration, Mark Miller, est ici ce soir. Bonsoir. Là, c'est pas clair si vous aimez moins Pierre Poilievre ou la CAQ. Il va falloir choisir, tu sais.
Minister Terry Beach is here somewhere.
He has the same spot he has in cabinet. We can't find him. What do you do already? Like.
Philippe Fournier is here. Everybody's favorite 338 Canada election projector, dashing fellow. He wanted to release a detailed regional breakdown of tonight's jokes, but Nick Nanos wouldn't let him.
Le ministre québécois de la Justice et de la langue française, Simon Jolin-Barrette, est ici ce soir. Bonsoir. Oh, il y a des fans dans la salle. Bienvenue en Ontario. On parle un peu moins de laïcité ici. Moins à la mode.
PMO's Senior Advisor, Supriya Dwivedi, is here. Welcome to the room. Thank you for teaching everybody here what gooning is.
I'm learning new words every day. I mean, la députée du Bloc québécois, Christina Michaud, est ici. Bonsoir. En tout cas, aux prochaines élections en Gaspésie, ça va être chop, chop, chop pour une députée. Reste à voir laquelle.
Ontario Education Minister Stephen Lecce is here, but Jamil Javani isn't.
No.
So, Stephen, you're good. Don't worry.
Aussi présente ce soir, la ministre du Patrimoine canadien, Pascale Saint-Onge. Bonsoir. Ou comme nos patrons de presse l'appellent, Daddy. Au moins, elle rit.
Pierre Poilievre is sadly not here, but his spokesman, Sebastian Skamsky, is here, and it says he's here with the CBC.
Oh. Good on you! Did you get a permission slip from Jenny? Just checking out for you.
We have a number of Conservative MPs here this year, quite a change from last year.
I guess you guys weren't invited to Melissa's party.
Melanie Joly also couldn't be here tonight, but we did manage to get most of Canada's foreign ministers here.
Yes, Heather McPherson, Michael Chong, Yara Sachs, Ben Carr.
Chrystia Freeland, François-Philippe Champagne, surely there's more.
On est en 2024, ce qui veut dire que certains hommes sont juste capables d'avoir une job si les femmes tombent enceintes. Stephen McKinnon, on vous salue!
Glenn McGregor isn't here. Huh, he must be somewhere in New Edinburgh tonight. It's a real niche joke.
If you know, you know. Comme vous le savez, le budget est dans 3 jours. Avis aux libéraux, s'il vous reste encore des informations à couler, sachez que Louis Bloin et Joël Denis Bellavance sont dans la salle. Ensemble, en plus.
Bill Curry is here too, the reporter who turned an app nobody really understood into a national scandal. 3 free tips for any public servants in the room who don't want the headache of a Globe and Mail headline. The first is, just don't work in national security. Easy. Second, don't try to kill those stories. It only makes them stronger. And third, holy hell, just leak to someone else for once. Come on.
Come on. At our table is Paul Wells. Good evening. Looking forward to your analysis of the dinner on your Substack. Unless Michelle Rampo-Garner beats you to it.
And finally, Hannah Thibodeau is in the room, and we just It still hurts to have lost you from our dear gallery. So nice to see you. Our hearts are with you.
Now time for some more serious business. Please welcome
that one
on the
killed,
stage.
wow.
Oh, that's a nice laugh.
Wasn't even the joke.
Please welcome Don Newman, Ashley Burke, and Rob Russo for the Charles Lynch Award.
Mr. Speaker, how are you? Good evening, everybody. It seems that we have these press gallery dinners even more often than we have votes of confidence in the House of Commons. But anyway, it's great to be here. I think I've been here for about 40 years. When I was president of the gallery, Wilfrid Laurier was very easy to get along with, and I don't know if it's still as good, but I hope it is. You may wonder why there are 3 CBC people on the dais at the same time. Well, we heard that there were some Conservative MPs going to be here, and when you are an endangered species, you like to huddle together, so that's why there are 3 of us here today. Now, actually, the way the Charles Lynch Award works is that every year, well, actually, the Charles Lynch Award started at the National Press Club, and when the National Press Club folded, I convinced the gallery executive at the time to take over the award and have it at the dinner here. And they said, well, that's okay, as long as it's no work. So if you're going to have the award here, you're going to do the work, and you're going to have to predict the winner and pick the winner. And I said, well, that's too big a job, but somehow we'll do it. So I originally asked Jim Travers, from the late, great Jim Travers from the Toronto Star, if he would work with me. Yes, Jim. And he worked with me until his untimely passing. And then I had to look for another good independent reporter who had a strong ethic and who could recognize work, good work when he saw it. And I chose Rob Russo. And when I chose Rob, he was the bureau chief at CP. And he was so good at what he did that he soon became the bureau chief at the CBC, so that's how 2 CBC people got together. And then as a 3rd member every year of our panel, we pick a previous winner. And we looked around, and of course, recently, Ashley Burke was the winner. Not last year, but the year before. So that is how we got 3 CBC people here at the same time. And I just want to announce, and I know he's going to be disappointed because he's such a good reporter, but I'm sorry, this year the winner is not Bob Fife. No, Bob, don't leave. Come on, it's okay. But Rob, why don't you give us a hint as to some of the qualities we look for, and then after that, Ashley can tell us who the winner actually is.
J'aimerais d'abord remercier Guillaume et les autres membres de l'exécutif de la Tribune. It's wonderful to be here on Parliament Hill again, is it not? Let's hear it for the decision to move us back here. And I look forward to the day that this returns to Centre Block in sometime in the next century. Yeah. Our honoree has been a mordant defender of the gallery's right to timely information that citizens need to assess how they're governed. His work in best-selling books for our leading publications and on broadcast is influential and keenly followed by reporters in both official languages. Quand son employeur a décidé que la politique nationale prenait trop de la place, dans leur couverture, il a refusé d'accepter leur verdict, puis il a fait face au séisme qui bouleverse notre métier avec brio. Il a pris le risque d'offrir une couverture de la politique de haut calibre sans filet.
This journalist is also someone who is forging his own path, and he's showing the next generation of journalists that it's possible to do that successfully. We're pleased to announce that this year's winner of the Charles Lynch Award is Paul Wells.
I'm very proud of it. Thank you. Thank you. Well, look, in the interest of saving time, I refer you to my LinkedIn account for Thursday night's speech. I'll be brief. Thank you very much for this surprising honor. It means a lot that I'm getting it from three of my most honored colleagues. I am very much including Ashley. I can't do what she does. My first day on Parliament Hill 30 years ago, I walked between the pool camera and the scrum mic on my way to not getting the clip I needed from the Heritage Minister. That was in 1994, 30 years ago. And I'm still, most days, pretty sure I don't know what the hell I'm doing around here. So I, most days, take my cues when I can from my colleagues. This thing we do is battered and unloved and used as a cheap target by cheap profiteers. But it matters, and it's hard, and we know all the pitfalls, and we still find a way to do it anyway. Je voudrais dire en passant que je suis particulièrement reconnaissant auprès de mes collègues francophones, parce que depuis une couple d'années, le jeudi soir, j'ai l'honneur de compter comme un de vos collègues. Le ministre Jolin Barrette m'a salué en entrant. I had no idea who this guy was. Normalement, j'ai comme 2 jours pour me préparer. Oh, lui, c'est lui le ministre de la Justice. C'est lui la loi 21. OK. Anyway. Thanks very much. I am in awe of the work that you do every day, and I'm glad that even now this weird thing that I'm doing is considered by some of you to count as the work of a colleague. Have a fun night.
Bien mérité, franchement.
So the last time our press gallery president made predictions, Marco Mendicino lost his job.
He now has more time to write in the National Post. On jase, mais espérons que notre nouvelle présidente fasse d'autres prédictions fructueuses, comme on jase, là, mais recevoir nos demandes d'accès à l'information à temps, dans les délais prévus. Ce serait le fun.
How fitting that this year's gatekeeper-in-chief is actually from CP.
Sebastian, don't tweet that, please.
Please welcome our fearless leader, President of the Press Gallery, Mia Rabson.
Bonsoir tout le monde. Welcome to the 2024 Parliamentary Press Gallery Dinner. My name is Mia Rabson, and I am the president of the Parliamentary Press Gallery. It is really lovely to be here tonight in this gorgeous room, even if I will never not associate this building with COVID press conferences. I can tell you honestly that when I arrived on the Hill more than 17 years ago, I could not imagine a day that I'd be the one standing up here representing this unbelievably talented group of people. I am also, as many of you know, a wire reporter at the Canadian Press. If you hadn't heard of us before, I'm sure you have now, thanks to that amazing conservative marketing campaign we have going. People like to say that The Wire attracts the people who are in this business for the journalism and not the glory. The sometimes nameless, almost always faceless types who loathe attention and hate it when everyone is looking at them. So I do guess I have a little bit in common with François-Philippe Champagne. But seriously, this whole speech thing and stage thing is just a little outside my comfort zone. I haven't been this nervous since they told me Justin Trudeau wanted to go back to India. But that trip went well, right? The Prime Minister was here with us tonight, but I still think that if you don't like my jokes, or the food, or the venue, you can still blame him, because everyone's doing it. Not long ago, I got a call from the Hill Times asking if I could answer a few questions about this dinner. Why are we still doing it? How has it changed? And is it still relevant? I can't exactly remember what I told them, so I went to read the story to refresh my memory. But I was tight for time, and after 10 minutes, I had to give up, realizing I was still reading the lead. I can tell you we did have some intense discussions over the last year about what changes would make this dinner better, more modern, more reflective of the current era in media and politics. It was even suggested that in light of the current situation in the media landscape, the theme of this year's gala should be a tribute to the hit HBO show, The Last of Us. The fact that any of us are still standing, maybe in and of itself, deserves applause. Sadly, we are not all still standing. I can't not mention the crappier moments we've seen this year. More layoffs and the departure of some amazing journalists, many of them from this business altogether. Hey, Belle, let's talk. Some people even voluntarily left us. And at the rate we are losing people from this industry to the dark side, Hannah, not looking at you, we may soon have to rename it the Parliamentary Strategists Gallery Dinner. But it gives me hope not just tonight, but every day on the Hill and in my own office, to see that we are still bringing in young, smart, talented people with a drive to tell the stories that are important to Canadians and to hold the people elected to represent them to account. People like Mark Ramsey at the Star, Davis Legree at iPolitics, and Najoud Al-Malis, who works with me at the Canadian Press. You might make me feel old, but you also provide a spark of hope that this industry is still attracting some of this country's best and brightest, and that the work we do is still seen to be as important and valuable as YouTube. What we all do, each and every person in this room, yes, even Anita Anand, even though we don't really know what it is you do, what we all do matters. This dinner remains an important chance to celebrate the work we do and raise a glass with the people we do it with. Mon fils de 10 ans aime me troller en me disant à quel point il parle mieux le français que moi, et il n'a vraiment pas tort. Il a même proposé de m'aider à écrire une blague en français pour ce soir. J'ai promis d'essayer de parler quelques mots en français, mais on m'a dit de ne pas être trop sérieuse et bon, c'est déjà assez intimidant de raconter une blague en anglais. So I will stick mostly to English, but if history repeats itself, I will not be the only person in this room not being funny in French tonight. Right, Mr. Blanchette? Some pretty big changes in the gallery in recent years, and even just in the last few months, my own shop included. I will sidestep that issue as awkwardly as I possibly can, and instead look around to the positive changes we've seen. The National Post has a new bureau chief, with Stuart Thompson coming on board. Now, keeping Chris Nardi in line is a full-time job in and of itself, so Godspeed, Stuart. If Nardi gets really rowdy, just toss him a deep and delicious cake. Louis Blouin a pris la direction du Bureau de Radio-Canada. Prouvant que les gens sympas peuvent vraiment réussir. The Logic staff weren't content just to always be the smartest people in the room. They also had to scoop all of us on the identity of Canada's new Supreme Court Justice. It's probably only a coincidence that Bob Fife showed up with not just one, but 2 Supreme Court Justices tonight. We would like to give a warm welcome to Justice Suzanne Cote, Justice Malcolm Rowe, and Justice Michelle O'Bonsawin. We also have with us several ambassadors from the United States, the United Kingdom, Mexico, Ukraine, Austria, the European Union, and Greece, as well as Canada's ambassador in Washington, Kirsten Hillman. It hasn't exactly been the easiest year in journalism or politics. The news cycle has been so relentless for so long, I think most of us have lost perspective on what it means to have a slow news day. Take March. There I was, all excited. The House of Commons was sitting for just 1 week. Brian Mulroney, as always, had impeccable timing. The tributes that flowed to our 18th Prime Minister were plentiful and heartfelt, and many talked about how he managed to do big things, even ones that seemed to be impossible. He even managed the impossible after death. Not only did he find a way to sing at his own funeral, he got Pierre Poilievre to do an interview with David Cochrane. J'aimerais remercier nos commanditaires, sans qui cette soirée ne serait pas possible. Our platinum sponsor, Bloomberg. Our gold sponsors, Rogers and the Globe and Mail. And our silver sponsors, Quebecor and CTV News. I would be remiss if I didn't take a moment now to thank the staff of the Parliamentary Press Gallery. You make our jobs a little less impossible each day, and you also made tonight a smashing success. Bianca, Eric Perron, Eric Vio, Jacques, Jordan, Liliane, Paul, Philippe, Pierre, Ray, Roland, Sarah Ab, Shane, and Stephanie. Un grand merci à Colin Lafrance. Qui est à nos côtés pour défendre la valeur du travail que nous faisons et se bat à nos côtés et pour nous à chaque instant. Thank you to my colleagues at CP for keeping me humble and listening to me whine and panic for the last several days about having to give this speech. But most of all, a thank you to all of my colleagues in the press gallery for fighting the good fight for this industry each and every day. I would now like to turn to the big check portion of the evening. Every year, the Press Gallery donates a portion of the proceeds from this event to a journalism organization that invests in reporting projects or helps hire young journalists. Cette année, le don est reversé à la Fondation Donatien Fremont. Ici ce soir, pour vous en dire un peu plus sur la Fondation, est François Legault.
Bonsoir, Mesdames et Messieurs. C'est avec beaucoup d'enthousiasme que Réseau Presse a appris que la tribune de la presse parlementaire canadienne avait choisi notre fondation, la Fondation Donatien Fremont, comme organisme récipiendaire cette année. Merci beaucoup. Thank you very much for your donation. Avant de poursuivre, on va briser la glace tout de suite, voulez-vous? Je le sais que j'ai le même nom que le premier ministre du Québec. Ou peut-être que c'est lui qui a le même nom que moi. Parce que je vous jure qu'il y en a qui me disent « Savais-tu que tu avais le même nom que le premier ministre du Québec? » Mais ce n'est pas parce que j'ai le même nom que lui que je vais profiter de ma présence ce soir pour parler de transfert de pouvoirs fédéraux ou d'un référendum sur l'immigration. J'ai plutôt l'intention de vous parler d'un autre sujet tout aussi important, du moins pour moi en tant que directeur général de Réseau Presse, la relève journalistique et l'importance des médias locaux, particulièrement l'importance des journaux locaux francophones en situation minoritaire. Avant, j'aimerais vous donner un peu de contexte. Depuis 1976, Réseau Presse, qu'on appelait à l'époque Association de la presse francophone, constitue l'unique réseau de journaux de langue française qui dessert les communautés francophones minoritaires hors Québec. En 1980, notre association créait la Fondation Donatien-Frémont afin d'appuyer la relève journalistique au sein des communautés francophones minoritaires du Canada. Depuis, plus de 350 000 de bourses de stage au sein des journaux membres de Réseau Presse ont été offertes à quelques 400 jeunes journalistes. Réseau Presse, which represents French language community newspapers outside Quebec, is also the publisher of Franco Presse, which is the first French-language Canadian media outlet to be awarded the Trust Mark by the Trust Project, an international organization. Franco Presse has joined the ranks of the Toronto Star, the Washington Post, and the BBC, proof that reliable and trusted information is at the heart of our industry's priorities. Je ne vous apprendrai rien en vous disant que nous traversons actuellement une période de transformation sociale et politique. Les multiples plateformes sur Internet permettent à tous et chacun de s'exprimer sans contexte, sans filtre et souvent dans l'anonymat. C'est pourquoi notre démocratie doit être protégée par des médias fiables. Et nos médias, l'ensemble de nos médias, pas juste les médias en situation minoritaire, ont besoin de journalistes rigoureux et compétents. Ils ont besoin de journalistes qui n'ont pas froid aux yeux. Ils ont besoin de journalistes qui vont au fond des choses. Ils ont besoin de journalistes qui n'hésitent pas à poser les questions difficiles. Et savez-vous qui sont les plus importants incubateurs de futurs journalistes? Les médias locaux, bien sûr. D'ailleurs, il a fort à parier que pour bon nombre d'entre vous, votre carrière a débuté dans un média local et qui sait, peut-être quelque part dans la francophonie canadienne. Et en tant que journaliste dans un média local, vous avez contribué à renforcer la démocratie des communautés que vous desserviez en couvrant des enjeux locaux qui n'auraient pas été abordés autrement. Et pour ceux d'entre vous qui ont déjà été journalistes dans un média de langue française en situation minoritaire, vous savez à quel point votre journal ou votre radio était le point de ralliement pour votre communauté. C'est encore le cas aujourd'hui. Malheureusement, depuis quelques années, l'érosion de la publicité vers les GAFAM a grandement affecté notre capacité de faire du journalisme. Comme pour l'ensemble de l'industrie, les médias locaux ont dû faire des coupes, non seulement dans l'administration, mais aussi dans leur salle de rédaction. Le don que vous nous remettez ce soir revêt une importance symbolique, outre le fait qu'il appuie la Fondation Donatien-Frémont dans sa mission de former la relève journalistique francophone. Il reconnaît le rôle essentiel que jouent les journaux locaux dans l'écosystème médiatique canadien. Certains ne saisissent pas toujours l'essence de ce rôle unique et des réalités des médias locaux, qui ne peuvent être comparés aux grands médias privés et publics. In closing, I would like to once again thank the Canadian Parliamentary Press Gallery for this donation that will help train our next generation of journalists and boost our local minority francophone newspapers. Long live local media and the next generation of journalists, et surtout Longue vie aux médias locaux francophones en situation minoritaire. Merci beaucoup.